Good morning. Welcome to Walter's Weekly Kick in the Butt. We're going to talk a little bit about commissions today. I hear it all the time. I just gave them a little discount. What you don't realize is that after you subtract your cost of doing business and you look at what's left over, your take-home pay, as it be, you are cutting as much as 50% of what you take home to the family. Stop it, you guys. There's no reason to all the time use that as one of your marketing methods. I understand the concept occasionally, but let's talk about some things that are important for you to keep in mind to understand as you're out there living off of a commission income. When the phone call comes in, and you all know that I prefer sellers way over buyers, and you're talking to a seller over the phone, and your goal is, of course, with the phone is to make that appointment. They come up with the commission objection on the phone. That's not the time. You can't talk about commissions on the phone. You haven't proven to them what you can do, and you have no idea the scope of the job you're about to take on. You don't know whether this guy's a cement head or the world's greatest client. So I need you to delay the commission discussion until you actually meet with them. Let's talk. Let's say something is that makes sense to them. Gee, Mr. Johnson, I don't believe I've ever had a transaction that hasn't closed because of commissions. Let's go ahead. Let's determine what I need to do for you to achieve your goals, sir. And you then can sample what I have to offer, and we can certainly then talk about that. Makes sense to me. Simple, nice. They understand that. You can't talk about commissions until you've made your presentation. Now, I can't get into a listing presentation here, but let's say we got the pre-confirmation package out to them. It's on your site or you emailed it to them, and you impress the heck out of them. And you show up and you do all the right things and ask all the right questions. You asked a few great questions on the phone. You had some great questions emailed to them. You know these people. You know what they need. You close on what they need. You close on what their goal is. And that's done in 15 minutes. All of my clients get to the first closing question within 15 to 20 minutes. Well, gee, Mr. Johnson, now that I believe that you're satisfied with the fact that we've overcome and answered all your major objections. Number two, I believe that we've taken the features and benefits of your property and showed you how we're going to take that to the world. And number three, I believe I've answered the question of the criteria that you're going to be using when you hire your next real estate agent. I think I've not only met that criteria but exceeded it. I'd now like to have the honor of getting you closer to your grandchildren in Utah. That's a closing question. They need to make a decision. And let's say they come up with the fact that, yeah, Walter, I like everything that you had to say, but my goodness gracious, I'm not going to pay that full commission. Let's quickly go into the commission overcoming mode. But you can't do that, however, until you understand that it has to be the last objection. You can't talk about commissions until it's the last objection. So your first thing is, and take out your pens and write this down, it's a checklist. Everything I do is a checklist. Number one, Mr. Johnson, if we can come to some agreement on your commission to both of our complete to your complete satisfaction, will I have the honor of being able to achieve your goals with this marketing plan? Well, if he says no, let's find out what it takes to get to a yes. For sale by owner, friend in the business, I want to sleep on it, pray on it. I don't know what the objection is, but it's certainly not the commission yet. I need to answer all objections before you get to the commission objection. So if he says, oh, yeah, Walter, if we can come to some agreement on the commission, we can go ahead tonight. Well, there you go. That's number one. Number two, I want you to go ahead and restate the obvious in a dollar figure. So what you're saying, Mr. Johnson, if we can go ahead and shave 1% off of this commission, which is 1%, which is a savings of, on a $250,000 home, it's $2,500. If we can net you $2,500 or more, I will then have the honor of achieving your goals. Is that correct? Yeah, 1%, $250,000. Yeah, I want $2,500. That's number two. Number three. Well, Mr. Johnson, I hope tonight I've proven to you that my goal is to exceed all of your expectations, and I'd like to try to do that one more time. I'd like to show you 15 ways in which I'm going to increase your net by $2,500. Now, guys, this is a 3-minute video, but let me give you a few of them. The list to sell ratio in your board. I know you beat it. If you don't beat it, I know your office beats it. You always beat a board list to sell ratio, and a board is consistent of a lot of part-time agents that aren't very good. So your list to sell ratio, Mr. Johnson, in here in our board is approximately 97%. My personal list to sell ratio is 98.5, which means I'm bringing 1.5% more to the net bottom line because of the marketing we've discussed, and because of my promotion, and because of the fact that I'm a better negotiator. And I believe that shows in these numbers. And as you can see, 1.5% brings blah blah to your net bottom line. Number two, Mr. Johnson. The average days in the market right now are 164 days. My average days on market are 99 days. As you can see, I'm beating the average days on market by 65 days. Let's look at the carrying costs on 65 days on your property. Principal, interest, taxes, insurance, possible deferred maintenance, payments on another property. Lots of carrying costs, Mr. Johnson. And you know what, almost, by the way, between you and me, almost always exceeds that $2,500. Number three, Mr. Johnson, you were talking and we were discussing different methods of marketing. And by the way, guys, I throw out at least 15 to 20 marketing ideas that the other agents in town aren't doing. And so I say, Mr. Johnson, which of the marketing ideas that I threw out that the other agents in town aren't doing, which one did you like the best? And he says, well, I like the fact that you contact previous agents known to have an interest in this area and in this type of property. That's correct, Mr. Johnson. I'm glad you picked that. It's one of my favorites too. I'll go back, as we discussed, a year, look at all the agents who have had a listing or sale in this genre, in this type of property, this area. I'll email them once a week during the listing period of all the features and benefits of your home to keep you top of mind so that they show the property more. Mr. Johnson, you know that aggressive marketing is going to get more showings. More showings means a higher price. Isn't that correct, sir? Hard to quantify the amount, sir, but you know that that's possible. That possibly far exceeds the $2,500 you're asking for. Number four, Mr. Johnson, litigation rate in our office is far less than what the National Association of Realtors says the average litigation rate post-closing. And you know that post-closing seller litigation is one of the highest costs that there are. And you can go on and on and on. We have in our products 20 ways in which we actually increase their net proceeds by as much or more than what they're asking for. And so all you have to say is, Mr. Johnson, after I've showed you all these ways in which I earn that $2,500 you're asking for, I'd like to now have the honor to implement that program and achieve your goals. You get most of them, you guys. You get most of them. And obviously, there are the cement heads out there. Let me give you a couple of suggestions for the last 20% who aren't going to go ahead and they still want the lower commission. They still say, you know, I want it all, but I still want that lower commission. You know, two things I want you to try before you give in. And you know what? There is a reason to give in. There's other speakers that don't let you give in. I think that's ridiculous. You have 2 to 3 hours invested in this project, and if it's going to sell, I'd much rather get it. But I don't want you to give in so quickly. So let's see if we can't offer this. You know, Mr. Johnson, you mentioned to me that you're going to be buying through me. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get that $2,500 for you. And what I'll do is I'll give it to you towards your down payment on your new purchase. Now, you guys, what that does, it locks them into the purchase. You get a full commission on the sale. And the second thing I would try is, Mr. Johnson, this listing is a feather in my cap, and I totally understand where you're coming from, and I'd like to achieve your goals, sir. If I get both ends of the transaction, I will go ahead and reduce my commission to the amount you're requesting. Now, you guys, it doesn't always work, but I want you to work harder on getting your commission. You know you're worth it. You know that the real estate industry has been around forever and it operates on a full commission basis. You start cutting your commission, you don't make enough money in this business. So for this week, you guys, thank you very much. WalterSanford.com is the place to get my stuff, coaching. Let's get out there and do a talk for your area. So let's see if we can't get together soon. Thank you very much. Walter Sanford.